to SBC 103D, which is Protection Agencies and Community Relations. And for the fourth unit of this lesson, we are talking about protection agencies and community relations. So a quick overview of the units, and there should be a relationship between the protection agencies and community, which is so crucial if the quest to prevent crime is to be achieved. This unit will discuss issues such as public opinion on protection agencies, perception of citizens, sources of conflict between protection agencies and communities. It will further talks about the challenges that are confronted between the protection agencies, amongst others. The units will still talk about how to understand issues that affect the work of protection agencies and its implications for the members of the community in which they operate. Welcome to the first session of the fourth unit of this model. In this session, you will be exposed to the ways and manner in which members of the general public perceive the work of protection agencies in the communities in which they operate. It will not be surprising that you might have heard the opinions and perception that public have expressed in surveys about the work of protection agencies such as the police, immigration, the prisons, and so on and so forth. And it promises to be an interesting discussion. I will urge all of you to come with me as we discuss public opinions of protection agencies. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to understand how the public perceive the protection agencies in Ghana, assess whether these public opinions and perceptions reflect your personal experiences in dealing with members of the protection agencies. Now, for us to start, we need to talk about the public perception or opinion of the police. And there is a general question for you. How do you perceive the police? Good. So, public opinion is very important in the work of the public protection agencies. After all, these agencies have sworn an oath to work in the interest of the public, to maintain law and order and protect human lives and properties. Therefore, such opinion serves as a feedback to the agencies in order for them to adjust and strategize to improve upon the public ratings when they are unfavorable or unsatisfactory. However, if protection agencies make all the effort to improve upon their performance and public opinion remain fixed due to stereotype, it is likely to affect their morale, and with time, they will accept it as their fate and therefore will make no effort at changing the way they operate. In their minds, they will think that no matter how hard they work, they will still suffer negative public opinion. So what then will be the point in carrying out any intervention in that direction? The above introduction shows how important the public opinion could be. It is a double-edged sword. And for us to understand the two key agencies of the criminal justice system, that is the police and the court, it is possible for us to examine the public perception for these two key people. The police service and the court are usually perceived by the public agencies as that serve the interests of the rich and powerful in society. For it to be true or not, I don't know, but that is how the public sees them. And the public perceives the police as an agency that unnecessarily harass commercial drivers and often leave them with private cars, especially the four-wheel drive and so on and so forth. I believe that you might have seen Some where the police will leave the four-wheel drive to hook off or to drive off, leaving the commercial drivers. So they stop the commercial drivers, leaving the four-wheel drivers. There is also a perception of corruption in the police service. Some factors in the country might have fueled such perception. Sometimes the police is used by the powerful in the society to arrest people under suspicious circumstances. So people who are influential in the society use the police to arrest people, the less privileged people in the society. That is another public perception of the police. He could have traveled out of the country immediately, and sometimes the police keep the suspect in police cells for more than 48 hours without processing him or her for court. And I mostly say that if the police wants to teach you a lesson, they arrest you on Thursday, and then Friday you'll be there, Saturday you'll be there, Sunday you'll be there, and then Monday they process you to court. Sometimes it is more than 48 hours anyway. Sometimes if you are unlucky and then the Monday is a holiday, then you are going to be in cells without being tried. Thanks be to the former CJ who has passed a resolution with the help of the Supreme Court that the 48 hours means 48 hours, including weekends. Many reports and researches between the year 2001 and 2006 indicated that the police was the most disliked institution in Ghana, and this is as a result of some of these perceptions. It must be noted that the public opinion and perception may not necessarily reflect realities on the ground. It might be true, it might not be true. But then it is noteworthy that the police are to do a very good job in the area of highways patrol these days. So these days you see the police patrolling highways, and it has reduced highway robbery. Now we move from the police to the courts. Citizens often suspect manipulations in the court's verdict, and usually there seems to be delay in dealing with cases before the courts, and that has raised a lot of suspicion in the mind of the people. You go to court and then there is adjournment. So that delay comes to the public as a manipulation of the court verdict. And the court also often scores higher on the negative public opinion and the perception on corruption. A total of 34 Superior Court judges were caught on camera taking bribes and extorting money from Anas, Tiger IPI member, who pretended to be a family member of some suspects on trial. It must be noted that the court noted in such that it is very efficient. Corruption-ridden verdicts at the lower courts could be overturned at the higher courts and appeals courts or the Supreme Courts. Any question? And I believe you understand the perception. I know you all have perceptions about the police one way or the other, and what we've discussed has really spoken about your perception about the police or the courts. But then it might be true, it might also not be true. You've been taken through the public opinion and the perception of the protection agencies in the community. The perceptions of the protection agencies are largely fueled by real life experience that create doubt in the minds of the public as regards to integrity of the protection agencies. They are also born out of certain lack of understanding of the operations of the protection agencies. I believe you have really been informed and educated. I will urge you to join me so we discuss the next session still on protection agencies and community relations. Now, until we meet for the next session, let's bye for now. Thank you.